right, I'm Mr. Beat. I'm one of the subject matter experts here at Chegg. In this video, we'll construct a consumer's budget constraint graph. We'll also explore how changing the budget of the prices of goods affects consumer opinions. A budget constraint model reveals how consumers can allocate their budget across two goods. To build the budget constraint line, we need the price of each good and the total budget. Elise drives a gasoline-powered car and enjoys eating lunch with friends at her favorite restaurants. Each month, Elise faces a trade-off between buying gasoline on the vertical axis and lunches on the horizontal axis. Elise budgets $100 per month, and gasoline costs $5 per gallon. She can buy up to 20 gallons of gas if she doesn't buy any lunches. Since lunches are $10 each, she can buy up to 10 lunches if she doesn't buy any gas. The slope of the budget constraint line reflects the rate at which Elise can substitute between gasoline and lunches. Since gas is $5 a gallon, consuming 2 fewer gallons of gas affords her one more $10 lunch. This trade-off is reflected in the slope of the budget constraint line. The ratio of 2 fewer gallons of gas over one more lunch meal creates a slope value of -2. The budget constraint line separates the affordable combinations below the budget constraint from the unaffordable combinations above. Those combinations on the budget line are the maximum possible combinations of gasoline and lunches that Elise can afford. With a budget of $100, Elise spends $50 to buy 10 gallons of gas. The remaining $50 affords her 5 lunches. Let's say that Elise increases her monthly budget to $150. Now, Elise can afford 30 gallons of gas and no lunches, or 15 lunches and no gas. This makes a parallel shift of the budget constraint to the right, affording Elise more combinations of goods. The slope remains unchanged because prices remain unchanged. But what happens if Elise decreases her monthly budget to $50? Well, Elise can only afford 10 gallons of gas and no lunches, or 5 lunches and no gas. This makes a parallel shift of the budget constraint to the left, affording Elise fewer combinations of goods. So, as you can see, an increase in the budget causes the budget constraint line to shift to the right, while a decrease in the budget causes the budget constraint line to shift to the left. When the price of one good changes, this alters the rate at which Elise can substitute between these goods, changing the slope of the budget constraint. Assume an international crisis doubled the price of gasoline to $10 per gallon. The total number of affordable combinations of lunches and gasoline now is smaller despite the same budget of $100. The reduction in Elise's options is represented by the shaded blue area under the old budget constraint and above the new budget constraint. A higher gas price changes the rate of substitution and the slope. Elise can still afford the same number of lunches, but fewer gallons of gas. Now, buying one less lunch only affords Elise one more gallon of gas. This creates a slope value of -1 for the new budget constraint line. When Elise buys 5 lunches each month, she can now only afford 5 gallons of gas. Price increases are painful for consumers when their incomes remain unchanged because this reduces the total affordable consumption combinations. Let's start again where gas prices are back to the original $5 per gallon and lunches are $10 each. Now assume Elise's favorite restaurants offer half-priced lunches. Lower lunch prices change the rate of substitution between these two goods, where one less gallon of gas now affords Elise one additional lunch. This creates a new slope value of -1. The total number of affordable combinations has increased despite the same budget. The increase in Elise's options is represented by the shaded blue area above the old budget constraint and below the new budget constraint. Price decreases are helpful for consumers when their incomes remain unchanged because this increases the total affordable consumption combinations. Since changes in income impact consumer choices differently than changes in the prices of goods, ultimately consumers must compare their preferred combinations of goods purchased by their income against the possible allocations of goods they can afford. If you're still having trouble with understanding how budget constraints influence consumer choices, come visit us over at Chegg. You can see solutions that we've already worked out, or you can ask for help directly from one of our Chegg subject matter experts.